I'm getting money, you see me. Stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC, Oh, I'm on a pod with TC,
Right, welcome. This is Financial Literacy with TC. I'm your boy TC. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me. So many podcasts out in the world you guys could choose to tune into, but you always choose to come back to this one, and I'm so thankful for that. Man, today is a special episode. I'm super excited to talk to my guest today. Before I introduce him, though, I just want to make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share to the podcast. As a reminder, this is about financial representation when we're talking about finances. Finances are involved in everything that we do in our day-to-day lives, whether you're a business owner, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a 9-to-5 W-2 employee, whether you're executive director for a nonprofit. It doesn't really matter the work you do. It takes money, it takes finances to get those things done. So I wanted to make sure we have Black representation when we talk about finances. Hence the podcast, Financial Literacy with TC. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share and tap in. Before I introduce my guest, I do want to set the stage on what we're going to be talking about today. So I have a question for you, and it is not rhetorical. So the question is, tell me of the Black home inspector or the home inspection company, Black-owned home inspection company that you know of. And I'll pause for effect. So with that being said, my guest today is the answer to that question. And before I introduce him, I just want to set the stage. You know, we are in the time of home ownership. There's so many financial institutions, there's so many organizations trying to steer not only people to home ownership, but specifically Black people. We're talking about those who are in, impoverished communities or, communities where the income level is very low. We're trying to encourage more people to become homeowners. Yeah. So the goal is a lot of these financial institutions, a lot of these companies, a lot of these mortgage brokerage firms are, doing a lot of things intentional, holding workshops, connecting with HUD affiliated organizations to make sure that, we're educating people on home ownership. And I'm a huge believer in that. So for those who, follow me, those who know me, I do a lot of financial literacy conversations and workshops. And one of the things I do try to touch base on is home ownership. But one of the things I wanted to do was have a conversation about part of the home buying process that's not really, highlighted or discussed enough. And that's home inspection. So today, that segues and leads me into who my guest is today. This brother right here, I'll just give a backstory before I do the introduction. We met recently, maybe a month ago, at the Black Excellence in Real Estate Life Ventures. Shout out to them, Mary Hester, Tammy, Sheldon, all those phenomenal real estate agents, their company in whole. Shout out to them. But we met at their Black Excellence brunch. It was a phenomenal event. And first thing out of his mouth, and he was giving out his business cards. He was talking. He was like, "Yeah, I'm a Black home inspector." Yeah. And the very first thing I did was like, "Oh, what?" Yeah. I pumped the brakes and was like, "Man, it's a pleasure to meet you," because I didn't know you existed. Yeah. So with that being said, my guest today is James Mack III. First of all, he is a Navy veteran, so shout out to you for that, man. Thank you for your service. No he's certified professional home inspector. If you have not heard about his company, you will soon in the upcoming days, weeks, months, years, because he's about to blow up. Yes. I'm gonna be hyping him up every step I can. He's the owner of Pit Snipe Property Inspections. Make sure I said that right. Yeah. Pit Snipe. Okay. You see behind us, we got his website up, Pit Snipe Home Inspections. He's a Black-owned business owner serving Pittsburgh and surrounding neighborhoods and counties. His home buying challenges, and we're going to talk about a little bit of how he got into this work. how he, started to, come up with his business and what made him become a home inspector. He's certified home inspector. He does amazing things with his business. And he's very knowledgeable, y'all. He's about to talk about some educational pieces that we can take home. He has been doing phenomenal things. I've only known him for a short while, but I promise you, he's been doing amazing things already. Just his impact alone has been inspirational to me, because I know when you think about home inspectors, I don't see many who look like us.
Yeah, it's kind of different out there.
So I bought my house in 2022, and my home inspector was phenomenal and great. But I'll be honest, I definitely shopped around and looked for somebody who looked like me, and I came up empty. Yeah. So with that being said, I want to thank James, man, for taking the time to be on the pod.
No problem.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for
I'm excited for this because, like I said, man, homeownership is the biggest thing right now going on in our communities. Yeah. We've been dealing with a lot of stuff, especially with, these storms that been knocking people's power out. Yeah. That has, a lot of what we're trying to do is to get people educated on how to, stop renting and stop making somebody else rich and take ownership and be able to start thinking about, wealth strategies and things of that nature. So I appreciate you taking the time, because I know part of the home buying process is getting a home inspection. And a lot of knowing that you cover that. So
like that. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here today, because I feel like what made me want to be a home inspector is like when me and my fiance was actually going through the process, and basically she came and purchased a home. Like, we had an inspector come through. Okay. The inspector came, and like me and my fiance wasn't in town at the time. Basically, he inspected it. Like, we had the realtor do the inspection for us, and basically our inspector just ran through the property with our realtor. We felt like it's our realtor. He's going to make sure we get the best inspection possible.
Right.
He go ahead and do the inspection and basically makes it seem like there's nothing wrong with the house. The house is in perfect condition and basically was ready to move in. Come find out like probably like a week or 2 or 3 weeks from right after, like during closing, there was an issue with the house. Then all these other issues just start appearing. And that it's like me and my fiance was like running around the world just trying to figure out answers, getting stuff fixed, either like just looking into research and like learning how to do all this stuff, especially just being a new homeowner and just purchased the home recently. So what can be fixed immediately. And basically we ain't have a lot of assistance with that. We thought the inspector was basically had services to offer and he ain't have nothing. And basically a lot of the stuff he missed. Right. So me being like a veteran and I know machines and I worked on equipment for 10 years, basically, I said, okay, what does it involve being an inspector? Like, I've been a quality assurance inspector in the Navy for 5 years, doing reactor inspections and different inspections. How hard is it to inspect a home? So I start looking up training for inspection. I end up going to Ohio and get my certification through a home inspection academy university up in Canton, Ohio.
Okay, nice.
So I did their 80-hour hands-on inspection course where we actually doing inspections, actually seeing everything you're supposed to be looking for. You're taught by like one of the best inspectors out there right now, and he's a veteran as well. So that's how I learned about it, through my veteran organization. That he offers inspection training for people that want to be property inspectors. So I went to Ohio, was up there for a week and did the 80 hours of hands-on training where I felt like it opened my eyes to so much stuff. Like, I pick on and learn systems real fast, and it only takes someone just to briefly go over something with me, and it's like I get it. So this was like the best opportunity, and it's like it's all visual stuff. And like now I'm learning about equipment to help me go more in depth with my inspections, and I got more services coming, radon, sewer scopes. I'm gonna have thermal imaging. I'm gonna also add drones, so I ain't gotta climb on roofs. So I can just basically send a drone up and get better inspection photos for those roof issues.
Right. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Before we tap into the gizmos and gadgets and the value of home inspection, I kind of want to set the stage for people who don't understand the significance. Because I come across a lot of people who they're about to buy their homes, or they just purchased the homes. You know, if you look on social media, Facebook specifically, you always see people, they just bought their home. And what isn't being showcased or talked about enough, in my opinion, is the process and how, we always see the end result when the people got the little, little gifts from their closing date and all that. But there's a lot of things that go and happen before that. And one of the things that aren't highlighted and talked about enough in these homeownership workshops is the home inspection part.
So the inspection process, more so for less, it usually happen around the closing time. Usually the customer will come and say, okay, I want to basically go under contract for the property. Right. When they go under contract for the property, they usually might have 10 to 12 days to get an inspection before the property because their closing date is already set. Right. So that's where I come into play. I'll actually have a customer reach out to me from a realtor, or a realtor basically gave them my information. And basically they reached out to me, said, yeah, I'm currently in the process of buying a home. And in the midst, they said, I need an inspector. I want you to be my inspector. So I usually tell them like, okay, my inspections take 2 hours from top to bottom. I do an exterior to an interior inspection from attic to roof, and basically making sure all the structural components of the house, the electrical system, the hot water tank and plumbing. I make sure that you don't have sagging boards, or if you do have a board that's sagging, it's on your attention, and I give you education on that issue where I might say, hey, this ain't a pass or fail to the home buying purchase. My job is to make you aware of everything that's you're receiving with the property. Right. This way you make the best financial decision for you and your family. Like my inspections, I tell all my customers, I inspect for the kids. I make sure the kids is safe. I don't want my, basically, I want to take every inspection as if I'm gonna have my sons coming in here the next day, they running around. Basically, I want to make sure if they going up the steps, they're not going to fall through the steps because the steps was properly installed. Right. I want to make sure if there's an outlet that don't have a proper ground or like GFCI protection in the bathrooms, I want to know if my son was to go in there and he was to plug something up, he won't get shocked basically because the proper stuff is in there. So every time I'm inspecting to make sure I know your family is safe in the house. That's why I offer radon testing services, mold testing services, and I'll have more equipment coming again to basically make sure I got more thorough, in-depth actual inspections of your property so you can know more about your property. Like I'm gonna be adding thermal imaging. And as I'm doing those inspections, I'll be able to help customers with their energy efficiency loss, and I can come and help you with your electric bill or gas bill or whatever bills, making sure all your bills is making sense. Like if you're missing insulations on the interior, exterior walls, I basically let you be known now that I got a thermal imager saying like you're using a lot of heat from this house, or your house is basically cooling down a lot because this wall is missing exterior insulation. This way you know how to make the proper adjustment to your house. And basically I even then come back and make sure they installed it right. I tell you, hey, if you get any service done before they close it up, make sure I come out to make sure it was done properly. Because I would hate for you to pay all that money for something and they don't do it properly. So it's like that help out. Like I tell my customers, I'm with them from the beginning of their home buying purchases until they leave that home.
And I love that, man. And I appreciate you sharing that, because here's one thing that people need to know. Every real estate agent, every title company, every lender, every notary, everybody's not equal, and everybody doesn't care the same. Everybody's either, not everybody is, their mindset's not the same. So therefore, when it comes to, choosing a real estate agent, choosing a title company, choosing a home inspector, you really have to vet these people. I'll give you an example. The same way you choose where you're going to eat out for dinner, lunch, brunch, the way you vet all these businesses is the same way you need to vet the home buying process. Yes. If you just go in thinking, I'm going to choose that lender because, I just like that, or I like this, or I like that. Really do some comparisons and really do some, analysis and see, why should I choose this person or that person? Because many people, especially in our community, and I know this because I work with people hands-on when it comes to the home buying process, we don't vet, we don't do anything. One last thing I'll say about that is, when it comes to experience, think about this. Black people in our communities will pay a lot of money for fun experiences. Our kid's first birthday, we'll pay 10 grand. Our first gender reveal, we'll pay 5-10 grand. Birthdays, vacations, we pay top dollar for experience. But when it comes to the important stuff, and I noticed this, and tell me if you noticed this, but when it comes for important stuff like buying our homes, buying our cars, buying things that can impact our wealth, we want to be cheap when it comes to it. We don't want to do our due diligence. Now, if I'm wrong, drop something in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. Because I promise you, that's an issue in our community. we'll pay top dollar for experience. The catering company will pay top dollar for them. We'll pay top dollar for the balloon people. But when it comes to, you know, the biggest purchase of our life is our home, oh, we want to be cheap. Oh, I ain't gonna do the home inspection. Oh, nah, you know, I'm gonna get them. They're cheaper. And you're not paying for experience. And experience is what makes the difference on whether you feel comfortable, whether you're educated, and whether honestly you're secure about the purchase. And so, you know, I just want to be honest when it comes to our people. I want us to get out of that mindset. Everything should be an experience. How this homeowner, home inspector treats you, you should be vetting other people the same way. So lenders, title companies, vet everybody the same way. If they don't treat you right, start shopping around. So I say all that to say, when it comes to what he's talking about and being very specific and detailed on what the experience is going to look like with working with him, you should really pay attention to that. Don't think it's going to be a quick 30 minutes, because I tell you, if something's quick and easy, they're probably not doing their due diligence. They're probably just get in, get out, so that way they can get paid. Now, if that's the type of service you like and are used to, by all means. But for me, and I'll just use myself, James, before I let you go. When I came to my home buying experience, I wanted my home inspector to be knowledgeable, and I wanted them to share their knowledge. Why am I going to pay you just to do my home, and then now you in and out, and I don't know anything? I left there just with the same information that I came in with. No, the home inspector I used let me walk around. He showed me all his processes, let me ask questions. He was very, you know, willing to explain and show and teach. And, you know, I value that in home inspectors. And mind you, I give grace to people who are first-time homeowners, because you don't know these things. So here, that's why we're having this conversation, because when you're doing something for the very first time and you don't have a realtor, or you're not working with people who want to, you know, they just look at you as a paycheck or a number, you know, they're not going to give you the extra game and the sauce. So I always pay attention to, is this person being scripted, or are they being coached, or are they being their authentic self? Are they telling me stuff that ain't on the company's brochure? That's what you got to do when you're vetting people in this industry and in this space. So.
Yeah, because I try to stick with my customers the whole buying process.
I love that.
I feel like at the end of the day, I'm your inspector, and I do like, if you have a warranty equipment or newer equipment, and I know the warranty is up in like 3 to 5 years, I'll come out. We schedule a date. I come out before the warranty is up. So if any repairs or anything needs to be done, we address that right then and there before the warranty expires. Say, hey, we need to get this fixed. We just had this. Here go the inspector. Here goes report about it. Send it in. They fix the equipment. Next thing you know, you ain't got nothing to worry about for another 3 to 5 years.
I love that. And so what we've covered so far, if you haven't been able to keep up, because I want to make sure we're being very intentional about what we're talking about with people. So James has highlighted why he became a home inspector. He's highlighted that his background in the military afforded him the ability to be like, you know what? It doesn't seem that complicated. If I can do this for the military, I damn sure can do this for, you know, the home. And I like that story because it connects me to, like, why aren't more the servicemen and women, you know, who are, you know, phenomenal people in the military space? If this is a nice little thing you can come into, why ain't more people doing that? Because I would love to see more Black men, women who look like us in this space. So I just want to give you your flowers for that. And sharing your story. So definitely make sure that, you know, for me, I like people's story. I like to know who I don't know about y'all, but I like to know who people are, who I'm dealing with. And if you're not in that space, you know, you should probably think about that. So next, you talked about the education space. So I kind of want to highlight that. And then also I want to show some stuff on your website. So I want y'all guys to lock in. So from a question for you, and you kind of talked on it a little bit. I just want to be more intentional about it though. You mentioned radon tests, mold, lead paints, and sewer lines. You do all that. So while you're talking, I'm going to navigate your website just to make sure people, you know, so just tell people about the significance of, you know, any of these things when it comes to buying your house.
So the first thing I'm going to go over is radon. Radon is basically the number one causing for cancer for non-smoking individuals. And basically it was discovered and found here in Pennsylvania. So right under this rock we're on, radon was discovered. It's only toxic once they get above 4 picocuries. So basically my job as an inspector is to let you know if you have a Like when you get your radon test done, I'll leave 2 charcoal canisters in your basement, and I'll set a closed home condition where I tell you don't open no windows until I come pick up my equipment. And basically, if you are going in and out of the door, try to at least keep the basement door closed at all times, and basically don't open up no windows because it's going to mess up the actual reading. So the charcoal canister sits in the basement for 48 hours. After 48 hours, I'll send it off to my lab, and within like 24 to 48 hours, they'll send their results back, and they'll tell me like, hey, the picocuries is at 4.3. If it's above 4.0, I got to let you know, hey, you need radon mitigation. So then I'll help you look. I can help you look for a company, and even when the company do work, I can come inspect their work to make sure it was properly installed.
Right.
Because your biggest issue is anyone can dig a hole, but I want to make sure these people was actually certified to do the hole. The hole meets the right requirements. Basically, there is a reduction in the mitigation service, because if they mitigated and it didn't do nothing, or they hit the wrong spot, basically you're still allowing the gas in, and basically you just pay for a service for nothing.
Right.
So with me being there, I can actually take tests after the mitigation service has been performed, and then I can say, okay, yeah, now you're below 4. You're fine. That's in great condition. We can stick with that company, and I'll promote that company if I actually had companies I work with, but I haven't had no high reading since I've been inspecting. All my people have been around 3.2. Some areas I'll get like a 3.6, but that's more so on like the west end side of town.
Right.
But like I haven't had really no high readings. That was like my one highest high reading, but I still wouldn't be nervous because they had AC systems and other stuff that I had basically turned off, and that was stopping the air circulation.
Right.
So basically, since my home condition was set, this is the worst case. You had to lock down. This is what it's going to be.
So I love that you shared that, because I have personal experience with this. When I bought my house 2022, our house was tested for radon.
Yeah.
I think I paid like 105.
Yeah.
You tell me if that's good or bad.
Oh, that's good. That's
okay.
Good. That's good.
But no, so my house we did the radon test, and it came back actually higher than 4.
Oh yeah.
So that was something I needed to know before we go to the closing table, because one of the conditions that we then went to, and I'm gonna shout out my realtor here, Rhonda Parker, shout out to her. We went back to our the seller, and we said, hey, this is unsafe. We need y'all to take care of it. Yeah. And went back to the table, and they did. They put in some system that cleared everything out, and next thing you know, did the radon test again. And it was just like a little home one the second time around. We did it again. It was under 3 or under 4.
Yeah, it was under 4.
And so when we went, the closing was in it was probably a week after that. We went back to the table, and they fixed it, and we proceeded on. So to your point, exactly what you talked about is, had I not done that, me and my wife could have been living in an unsafe condition, and we don't have children yet. But like you said, these are things that if you are not educated beforehand, you don't know that you can go back to the seller and say, hey, no, this ain't gonna work. Fix this and this and this, or we're walking away. A good realtor will, take care of you on that end, because we have to do much. Once we got the information, realtor related to the seller, and we was on the cracking after that. So I appreciate you sharing that. Let's talk about the mold. So that's a big one.
Yeah, so mold. I do 2 different mold samples. I'm actually having ear mold samples coming soon, but I currently just do swab mold samples. So with mold samples, I'll usually go in basement, bathrooms, high humidity areas, and look for either some type of black spots on walls, or even it could be white spots. Mold technically can't be white. Gotcha. I'll swab the area just to make sure I get whatever I assume it is, because until I know exactly what it is, it's possible mold. Right. I would never tell someone basically it's, and
there's mold. A lot of different molds.
I can't tell you what type of mold it is until I actually get it sent to my lab. I get it sent out to the lab. So once I get it sent out to the lab and it comes back to me, basically, I'll tell you the exact type of mold, that way to treat it, with the common issues with it, and the side effects of it. This way, you're totally educated on it. Right. And now I have services. Basically, say for instance, I come into your home, and you get your inspection. The person that's selling the home might go into a bathroom and scrub all the mold off of the bathroom with some bleach and stuff. So you'll never know. So the mold might come back a month or two later. So now I offer this warranty service where basically if that was the case, it will help you with the expenses, because I don't know, like if you get professional mold service done, it's going to cost some money. So I'm trying to offer a service where I'm still with my customers.
I love that.
I understand the pain. Here goes, this is what my warranty, they'll help you with this much amount. From there, you can just figure out the rest.
For sure. And I love that you shared that, because I have two experiences with it, not me personally, but people I know. There was a situation where a relative was living with black mold, and it impacted their health tremendously. And that's dangerous. And then second of all, when you're talking about these people who are trying to sell their homes, if they can cut corners, best believe they will.
Yes.
And if you don't have someone who's, high integrity and high in character, because you, like anybody else, you check websites, you check reviews, but you might not be getting the real. So being able to have relationships prior to starting the home buying process, I always tell my clients this. Before I bought my house in 2022, I was in the home buying process for 2 years. Getting educated on building relationships.
That's a life decision, right?
For sure.
And I feel like you need to know everything that comes with it, all the activities, all the responsibilities. Like you're now the maintenance person when you're the homeowner. Exactly. With your inspector, at least I can tell you, like, hey, you're gonna be walking into this issue, and this comes with this issue. You can look up everything about it, and it's like, should you get that fixed before you get it closed? Like I would never tell a customer, don't get this house. I'll say, see if the seller and the realtor can come to a negotiation point where they'll make sure this is fixed, or they'll cover so much of the amount, or you'll have money put to the side for that service, basically closing on your house. For sure. And I feel like that's like real helpful, because it's like, absolutely, it sucks. You just basically waste all your time getting all that money together for your home. Then boom, you get hit with a home repair. I feel like homeowners shouldn't have to worry about a home repair for at least the first 3 years. Absolutely.
And I love that. So to add to that, what you said, my home inspector, he checked our hot water tank that was in the house. He said, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, your water tank only got about a year.
Yeah.
However, knowing what I know, I'm like, water tanks, they're not as costly as you may think.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? That's something I can live with. And sure enough, a year passed and we had to replace that jar. And I got it done less than $500.
Yeah.
Was able to get one. And I had people contractors relationship that they was able to put it in for me.
Yeah.
It cost me less than $500.
Yeah.
But I give you that story and example because I give credit to the home inspector. He let me know up front.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was a cost that I could bear.
Yeah.
Now I could have, played hardball with the sellers and be like, hey, no, I'll replace that. But me just having my options.
That's small.
Yeah,
that's small.
Exactly.
That's small.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the roof.
Yeah.
We did it. That was brand new roof. It's only 2 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we Gucci on that.
Yeah.
So
you get that roof.
If it hasn't become abundantly clear to you, the more you're educated and the more you have a good home inspector who's willing to give you the tea and sauce and really be, knowledgeable. They're not just there to collect a check. Vet these people. Yeah. So you have one right here in front of me who's, doing a phenomenal job at just letting people know about things that aren't publicized.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do one more, and then after that, you guys got to tap into him for because I don't want him giving all the tips and tricks and the nuggets. Definitely hit him up. We'll make sure you got all his contact information. One that's a big one, lead paint. That's huge now.
So lead paint is really only toxic if it's ingested.
Okay.
So people be nervous with lead because they know about lead and water and everything, but paint is still got to be ingested. Right. So a lot of the homes in Pittsburgh was built in 1900s, I think the earliest one I seen was 1889. Yeah. So it's like we got some old homes in Pittsburgh. At one point in time, lead was the primary paint they used. Right. And a lot of homes now that have been updated, some of the walls is still there from when the house was originally there. Right. And it might be 1 or 2, 3 layers deep of paint where you got to go down. And with a paint lead sample, it's like I actually goes until I hit the wall, and basically I'll try to find a spot that's basically unknown. Like if we can go somewhere in like a basement or a closet corner, I'll go in the closet and basically take a paint sample on the backside of walls. But usually people don't change closets. Right. So I'll go to the closet, take a paint sample. It will be out of the way, so it won't even bother you later on. And I'll get it sent out to my My lab will receive the report. They'll tell me
You got a lab, y'all.
yeah, I gotta keep making sure I recommend my lab, because there's always a process, and I don't want people to think that it's immediately. As soon as I take it, I gotta let them know I'm sending it out to my lab. Yeah. My lab takes 24 hours, and I'll post the results the next day
for sure.
And they'll see the report, and the report will say either a positive for lead or a negative for lead.
Right.
Basically, it might list other bacteria or stuff that you've seen on the sample, but it won't go. It will basically let you know it's lead present or not present, and basically the health concerns and what you can do. Long as you can really just paint over it. They got so much paint now. You can paint over lead walls, but you got to make sure you got the right amount of layers before you actually have it. So that's it's like I try to let people know, like, if you don't want to get that lead paint scraped, it's like scraping off and all that stuff, because it is a pricey service to get lead paint removed. For sure. Basically, you can paint over it. They'll tell you, like, hey, make sure there's at least 3 or 4 coats before you actually be done with this, or seal it 3-4 times just to protect it, and you can put your primary coat over that. For sure. So it's like I try to educate and let people know at least what they're walking into when they going into the home buying process.
Absolutely.
Because that's all my inspection is to inform you on what you're about to receive and the possible issues that will appear when you're owning the home at the current time.
Absolutely. So to that note, what is the biggest myth you hear about home inspectors or home inspections? Because I know for me, and I'll just, while you're thinking, I'll tell you, most people, if they don't have a good lender and a good real estate agent, they go into the home buying process with little to no money, and they don't understand the cost of affording a home inspection. Again, I already talked about people who we want to be cheap with the important stuff. They don't understand the value in having a home inspector. Even if you're just an investor, having all the information about what they're about to purchase, they just don't understand the significance of that in most cases. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people I hear just whispering and chatter through some of these home buying workshops that I go to. They're like, if they can take everything on face value, the walls look great. They don't get, they see everything from the first time they walk through that house in the open house, and they're in awe. And then come to find out, you know what, it looked good. I don't want to spend the extra.
Paint look real good when it's fresh. Paint look real good when it's fresh.
But is there any myths that you deal with that people don't think about when they do homes?
I'll say when people say they believe a home inspection is a waste of money. Like I'd be so serious that it's not a waste of money. I offer, like, one of my services, basically pay at closing, where you'll basically go through a third party organization, and basically you ain't got to worry about your inspection costs. My inspection service is like $450.
I love that.
So it's like I'm trying to stay like aggressive enough, but it's like I'm trying to actually be reasonable enough. It's like I'm looking out for the people. So I only charge $450, but I have more services coming.
Right.
And then from the services, like when I do my sewer scope, because once you get a home inspection, the next thing you're gonna need is a sewer scope inspection.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to have it where you can get all these inspections with me. You ain't got to worry about none of the cost of the inspections until closing, and basically that gives you a sense of relief, and basically know at least my inspector's with me.
Yeah. See, and for those who don't understand the significance, if you're a first-time home buyer, or if you're just fresh off of buying a home, or people who own homes, they know the significance of being able to get, because typically you have to get the home inspection out of your pocket. It's very rare that that's not the case. Actually, I can't think of any situations where that wasn't the case. So understanding that you can deal with a home inspection company that will allow you to pay them on the back end at the closing table is huge. Matter of fact, I'm not too familiar with that strategy, but I love it because I do know clients, and I will definitely be referring them to James when it comes to, they're penny pinching. They're trying to make sure they're going to the closing table with, if no money down or very least. And the home inspection is one of the costs that they can't afford. Now, granted, I, as a financial advisor and someone who teaches financial literacy, financial education, whatever you want to call it, I try to make sure people know, like, let's make sure you got some money set aside for things and emergencies and things of that nature. But if that's not the case, I would want them to know about this service, so that way, if they can still get the home inspection done, still get great value, still make sure their kids is safe, they're safe, and then have it being taken care of at the closing table, that's huge because there's so many home buying programs where you can get, all your money down for closing and down payment assistance. So having an inspector who's willing to meet you halfway with that is huge. So for anyone who's interested, we're going to make sure that information, obviously you'll go on the website, but we'll make sure that information's in the description of the video because you don't understand how huge that is for somebody who's struggling with the financial part.
Usually your bank account got to sit at a certain limit.
For sure.
If you drop under it, your realtor will be yelling at you.
Right. Yeah, if they're good, if they care. The ones that don't care, they don't put up no money. So when we're talking about home ownership, hunting for home ownership and how when should someone schedule an inspection? Typically, what is your thought process when it comes to that? I believe mine was maybe 3 weeks out before we went to closing. So, because if I recall, it was March 1st we started the whole process. By May 18th of 2022, we were at the closing table. So I think between sometime maybe into April. We were doing the home buying inspection. That gave us enough time to get the information we needed because May 18th was the closing date and we were there.
I was about to say, you should start scheduling inspection when you know that it's between, like when you down there, it's between not 1 and 2 homes.
Got it.
And you basically said it's either this home or that home, or you basically know that's the home. You don't care what comes with it. That's my home. Basically, that's when you give your inspector a call. Basically, when you're about to go under contract, you should be getting your inspector ready. Like, hey, this is the home for me. I need you to inspect this. Tell me everything that's wrong with it, and basically we can go from there. Because your inspection is basically going to open your eyes to so much with the house. Like you can have a pretty home, but have incorrect electrical wiring. And electrical wiring is one of the major safeties. So it can cause fires. You can just lose power. Nothing's cheap. Nothing's cheap when it comes to electrical.
For sure.
So it's like with an inspection, you actually get the knowledge. I take the panel off. I make sure you ain't got no double taps. I make sure you ain't got no splice wires. I make sure everything's wired correctly and basically take pictures and put it in the report and let you know, hey, as of today's inspection, this electrical breaker box and its components are in good working conditions. This way they know as of today, this is good. Because if it's not, I'm going to say recommend a licensed electrical contractor to further evaluate. So basically they know like, hey, there's an issue and I'm letting you know there's an issue. I'm getting an electrician out here so he can professionally tell you, because he's going to tell you the actual repairs that come with it. And from there, you can basically go back to the seller and say, hey, I want the house still, but this is the bill that I need taken care of.
For sure.
And now it's basically
it's up to them.
If you ain't got the right inspector, your inspector could miss that. And basically now you in the house is after closing, basically you come to find out all the help is gone. So when our electricians say $4 or $5 grand, that's now your $4 or $5 grand. So it's like you just closed. So I feel like all my homeowners shouldn't have no issues within their first 3 years. I want them to at least know for 3 years they're going to basically have a peaceful sound of mind, or basically they'll know at least these is the issues and these is stuff you're willing to take on, and basically they're small, probably DIY projects you can do with you and some friends, where basically you can YouTube anything, but that's the only time I'll let them know. But when it requires an expert, I make sure they know an expert must do this. For sure. Like if I feel like this is something you can do on your own, I'll make sure I comment. This is something you can do.
I love that.
This is a DIY link to the item if you wanted to do it.
Bro, I promise you don't get that with all home inspectors. There's this, because it was given to me. There's this spin wheel that has, it's called the ASHI. You might know it a little bit better than me. There's I'll just show it here. I forget what it's called specifically. The American Society of Homeowners Inspectors.
Oh yeah, that's
ASHI. I'm sorry.
Okay.
This ain't my world, y'all.
That's ASHI. See, I'm with Internachi. I'm with Internachi because Internachi is like a university.
Gotcha.
So I like them because it's like they require you. You must do 80 hours of training a year to basically keep up on your game. And it's like they help you if you want to learn more knowledge to get into like commercial inspection. Because it's like I'm thinking about entertaining commercial inspection. there's actual training courses or things I can sign up for to get the credentials to be a certified commercial inspector, and I'll know everything I'm talking about. It's not just me assuming. It's like I got the education and they train me. So it's like with them, you constantly got to be up on your certs. Every year you got to at least submit 80 hours, and from there you can keep adding service. That's the organization that helped me get my sewer scope training. So it's like, I feel like, oh, go ahead.
And I love that you shared that, because that's why I bring it up, because so many people in our community, we want to use our cousins, Pookie, Ray, oh, my cousin, he got 5-6 houses. He know what he talking about. And I'm like, no, there's certain things where that doesn't cut it. The certifications and the licenses and all that stuff start to matter. So when you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna just use my cousin for this, cousin for that, oh, that doesn't mean that they are licensed and certified, and they may be. But if they are not, this is, they have the ASHI for a reason, because it has a whole list of home inspectors and things of that nature. These are the people who are licensed and certified, which is what you want. And then you want to vet them, because they might all have certifications and they might have licenses, but then you start getting to, well, what separates? For us business owners and entrepreneurs, we know that there's a difference between what sets us aside from our competitors. And it's not talked about enough, and people don't have that mindset, mostly who are consumers, that, oh, all these homeowner inspectors are not created equal. What sets them apart? He continues to say within the first 3 to 5 years, his clients should not have to pay for any replacements or repairs or anything of that nature. Who else is telling you that? I promise you, my home inspector was great. I loved who I chose, but he wasn't saying stuff like that.
I'm just trying.
Nor was his company. So when you go on somebody's website and do your vetting process and start talking to these individuals, see what their slogans are. Like, he has a great one here. Our company is based on the belief that our customers' needs are of the utmost importance. Start understanding what these companies are saying and doing and meaning when they have statements like that. And that's why I love what I do with this podcast, because this gives people that firsthand experience. And mind you, anytime I see some post about home ownership, home buying, best believe this episode is going to be popping on that post, because I want to be intentional, especially for our people, that, we see that Black representation, somebody who looks like us, who really cares about what we're dealing with and what we're going on in our life. Because we know, if you're not familiar with what's going on this week in people's lives, is we had a storm, people still without power. So people still, struggling with food, water, losing money. There's a lot of things going on, and we don't always have people who look like us who care about us. We always talk about keeping in our community, take care of our community. Well, here's an opportunity where you get to meet somebody who's very intentional about, oh, I want to make sure I'm taking care of my people. And I can't give you any more respect than that. So
we got some representation
for sure. So let's talk about the business, man. How does Pit Snipe stand out from all the other industries dominated by larger companies and more known and elevated home inspector companies? I've already seen the difference, but for our viewers who aren't educated,
I feel like a lot of my knowledge came from basically me being a veteran, like my training and all the time I had to take to actually get certification. So when I found out I had to become certified, to be a certified property inspector, was just to get certification and do education, I'm thinking, like, why not do it? Like, I was good at my job, I was a great technician, and I feel like I just went through a situation where if I was the inspector for my own home buying process, I would have got a lot of stuff fixed basically before closing. So now I wanted to be the guy to basically fill that gap, so a lot of homeowners are not walking into new homes and basically saying, I got to get my floor fixed, or basically my basement's flooded. In your inspection report, I'm gonna give you every indication if your basement's flooding. I'll even basically recommend a general contractor to repair the basement issue, so you can go back to the negotiation table, say, hey, I still want the house, but we need a dewatering system for a basement. We need this. Can y'all make sure it happens either before or after closing?
Facts.
And basically, if the people that selling the house know that, hey, you're serious about it, they'll usually 9 times out of 10 say, all right, cool, we'll close it after closing. So I feel like I try to basically, I care about my customers, because I feel like I want to know I can sleep peaceful at night knowing that their home is basically protected too.
For sure. And I love that, because that kind of leads into where I wanted to go next when we're talking about client education.
Yeah.
So the fact that you care, you state you care, you're on record that you care, but you do more than just say it, you show it. So how do you continue to support clients? You kind of already hit on this. After you do the initial job, you basically highlighted things in place that you make sure to do a certain follow-up. Because I'll be honest, my home inspector company, they did a great job, but I'll be honest, I didn't get that follow-up feel that I wanted.
So I got email pings for all my clients. So basically, after 90 days, if there's any issue, hey, I'm here. Let me know. Basically, now since I have warranty for my inspection, I let them know like, hey, before 90 days, if you catch any issues, let's get this taken care of with this warranty, because you accepted the house with the issues that you knew that you was receiving.
Right.
So let's take care of any new issues immediately that might have happened, that now you're living in there and you're getting settled in, new stuff or things are starting to pop up. Let's get this taken care of right now, so this ain't a long-term issue.
Right.
So it's like I try to let them know. I even let my clients know, hey, any equipment that's under 10 years and they got warranties, let me know. I'm coming out. I'll schedule it a week before your warranty expires, so we can have a note like on call, on record, so they know, hey, they called on this date saying this is wrong. We got to fix it.
Right.
So
and I love that, because this man, we met at a networking event. People don't realize, a lot of people I come in contact with, I quickly know if I'm in awe of them and want to have a deeper relationship. And I'm being very transparent when I say that, because I'm big on collaboration. So the moment, like, he literally said, oh, I got a black home inspection company. I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want to collab with you. And here we are. But I also wanted to highlight, this man is big on collaboration. He was doing his thing at the Black Excellent event, and I'm sure he'll continue to do his thing. So if you're a contractor, real estate agent, title company, you're watching this episode, make sure you tap in with him, because at the end of the day, he has a package, and I'll let him, if he wants to share that. When it comes to collaboration, he definitely wants to collab with people in the same space and industry, which is the home buying industry, and make sure that if there's collaboration to be had, you get some type of a win-win scenario where, if it's on his website, he's highlighting and emphasizing you, or if it's vice versa. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to this referral game, we have compliance and things we have to worry about. But home inspectors are under a different umbrella. They don't, that's not necessarily things that they have to concern themselves with. So, anyone who's smart will will reach out to this man. I have some conversations with him. But I definitely just want to emphasize that, because when we talk about community, I feel like you're going to be a major player moving forward when we come to, because just being able to talk to people, young men, because I'm in a couple men networking groups. I'm in a couple of, just job fair, career fair things that I do. Matter of fact, there's one coming up on May 16th. A career fair for incarcerated men coming out. These are things that, we can put in front of them, your profession, to say, hey, this is something you could probably get licensed and trained for. Now we see more black men, black women in this field, because let's be honest, the moment I went to try to buy my house, I was looking for a black owned home inspection company. I could not find one.
There wasn't one. I think there's one out there, though.
I'm pretty sure
it's just hard to find.
It's just hard to find. Like, why is it so hard? Why are we on the 10th page of Google? I ain't going that far. But I say all that to say, this is something that, I feel your passion. I feel that you're going to continue to pour into the community. And I just hope that the community reciprocates. I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure that they do. But, I want to continue to sing your praises. So where does your level of concern and community come from? Obviously, I know your military background probably has something to do with it. But, just as you enter this space, when you start thinking about community and legacy, what does that look like for you?
For community, I felt like I basically left my community. Like, I grew up on the Hill District and shout out to different areas of Pittsburgh and stuff. And basically, when I joined the military, I was gone for 10 years. But it's like when I left, I gained so much knowledge where it felt like I want to take this back to my neighborhood.
I love that.
I want to see however I can help out my people and figure something out. So when I learned about, like, I was always good at inspection or catching things that was out of place and bringing it to the right attention and getting stuff fixed. I figured, like, okay, and I learned that there's an actual professional business where I can do that with housing. Right. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta help my people out. So I feel like there's a lot of times, like, I just wanted my people to know, like, we're changing and going into different areas, and we're growing way more. So basically, as we're growing, we need someone in that place to help fill that void that basically might look like us, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, and basically saying, like, okay, I know he's I ain't saying he's one of us, but it's basically he's going to make sure we're good. And he's not just doing it for fun.
For sure. No, and I love that, because I'll be very intentional with this statement. We got a black mayor. Yeah, we got a lot of things happening where, you know, everyone is being intentional about where the black dollar is being circulated more now than ever. You know, we have a lot of momentum when it comes to everything being black. So shout out to Emerald City, the Greenwood Plan. For those who don't know, I'm on that board. We have a business conference October 7th through the 11th. I encourage people to tap. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna make sure you're there. But I want to make sure that we have that black representation. Many people in our city still don't know that 213 Smithfield Street is what I call the black Mecca for our people. Okay. A place where you can come and you see the black representation in all different industries, law firms, doctors, lawyers, you know, home inspectors. There's so many black excellence, executive directors. If there's something you're trying to do and we don't have a black representation in that space, that's kind of where I feel people need to tap in, because that's where we're trying to open doors, fill that void. So definitely, again, all this information will be dropped in the description. So you service Allegheny County, Wexford, Monroeville, Washington County, and then I think you go even further than that. Because for me, you know, I want to be intentional. I have clients on Wexford. I've gone to other counties, Fayette County.
As long as we can schedule it accordingly, I'm there. Okay. Like I usually let my realtors know, or my customers know, like, I'm there. Just as long as we can schedule it and it works out perfect for us, I'm gonna be there. For sure. I'm gonna be there. I'm willing to do the drive. We ain't got to worry about the drive. One, because we're going to usually schedule it. If it's somewhere far, I'm gonna schedule it on the weekend. For sure. I'm gonna schedule it early too, just so we are out there before traffic and we can knock it out and basically get back home, and basically I just want to enjoy my weekend just like everybody else. So I'll always do that.
So I'll be honest, I'm a notary, and I'm part of a title company called ARG Settlements. Shout out to them. Okay. So I'm going to be very intentional about when I'm doing something related to the home buying process, the relationships that I have. I'm going to make sure that they're able to go to Pit Snipe Inspections.com, which is what we have behind us. And I want to be intentional about, you know, getting the more exposure for your business. One, because I support black owned businesses. I'm very intentional about that. But two, because I'm in the similar line of work to where, yes, I prefer to spend black, but I'll be honest, when it comes to the money, I don't care what color you are. So I'm out in Wexford, I'm out in South Fayette, I'm out in Washington County.
I did a trailer park. I did a trailer. I was like, oh, wow,
so for me, so for me, understanding the space that we're in, anytime I'm out in areas that don't perceive to be predominantly black, I post about it. Because I want people to know that, I might, you know, have clients who are white and things of that nature, but I spend in my community primarily. So, you know, we need to get out of this fear of, you know, because I'll just be honest. We hear about the Jewish community, all these other communities, they spend in their neighborhood.
They stay in their neighborhood.
And they don't brag, and it's not a center of conversation when it comes to them. And there's a reason why, because they're not the minority. But for us, I need people to start getting more comfortable about just saying what it is. So if you uncomfortable, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what I love to hear. So moving on, as we start to wrap up, looking ahead for Pit Snipe Property Inspections, what is some of the things you're looking to get accomplished either within the next year, next 5 years, 10 years? Because I'll be honest, if you don't mind, I'll share what I would love to see. And then you tell me if it aligns to where you're at.
I'm just...
One, because it took me a minute to like man, why don't we have more black men, black women in this home inspection space? Like I literally did a research and did searching, and it till this day I don't see people who look like me in this space. So I would love to see, and I, if there's something we can collab with within the next year, 2 years, few years, to start getting more people exposed to. I would love to get you into the school systems. I love to get you into the jails. Some of these rehabilitation nonprofits. I would love to see you be the face of, not necessarily, you tell me where you're at with that, but people seeing you and knowing what you do and getting you in those rooms to where our kids and our people who coming out for second chances, they're not exposed to, they don't even know. Especially if they don't own homes, they don't know what the value of a home inspector. So for me, however that fits into the business model, I would love to see, just you more in the limelight, or not just you, but any other black owned.
I get it. I definitely get it. I'm like, my goal is basically to grow and expose myself. I want more people to know. Like I right now, social media is real big. I hate social media, so I'm trying to get me a marketing team that can help me with that process, because it's like, I know if I might not be able to get on the top page of Google, but I can post on Instagram and Facebook all the time, and I'll be in people's head where they're actually looking for their home. So it's like, facts. Until I can get myself up there, it's like the only thing I can do is expose myself, let people know like there's a face with the business, like the symbol is basically, it was supposed to be me, right? But it's like it's a sailor, Pit Snipe, like Pit Snipe. I got the name from in the Navy, engineers that work down in the plant, like space used to be called Pit Snipe. Yeah, they used to get dirty loading the coal or working on boilers. So it's like basically for me to show homage and respect for my my Navy career, I chose Pit Snipe Property Inspection with the little black Popeye.
That's what I did think. Black Popeye the Sailor Man. No, that's dope. And I appreciate you sharing that, because one, we're going to make sure that PitSnipeInspections.com is highlighted in the description. Get on the website, man. It's phenomenal. It's quick and easy. You can book now to get a free estimate. Just talk a little bit about what that looks like if people call or they get on the site. And
so if they go on the site and hit book now, it should. Just hit schedule again. Okay. So it pops up and it'll actually give you the dates and times. Usually you go down the calendar day and they'll show you my availability. Okay. So like right there, I'll be available at 4. So I think on the weekends or it's way more. Yeah. Way more time. Weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I inspect from like sun up to sundown. That's the only time you can inspect. Once the sun is down, you got to be done inspection.
Yeah, you can't be looking at a roof at midnight.
Yeah, that's impossible.
No, I like that. That's dope, and it's easy. So let's just scoop it.
Because even if like when you go on my page, like there's a bubble that pops up. So say for instance you have a question right then and there, a chat pop up. That chat come right to my phone. So once you chat and you chat with me, and I'm gonna respond as soon as I see it. So you'll get that notification or alert directly from me.
Right, got you. Okay, put in the address, located. Now this is very user friendly because that's what it is nowadays. I don't want to put in my crib, but so yeah, very easy. You can book and schedule. I love that because nowadays your website got to be user friendly. I'm learning a lot about that.
It as user friendly as possible. Like if you want to, I got a little mock inspection so a person can see what the inspection report usually look like. This for sure. It's like one of my.
It's on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website.
Bear with me, y'all. Get back on the home page.
Go down, just scroll down a little bit. It should be right under view sample report.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. I like that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is an inspection I did of a home. And basically, I got it on there.
Love that. Yeah.
Like, so people can get used to seeing common issues and stuff like that. Understand, like, okay, this is a safety issue. This is a mechanical issue.
Yeah. No, that's dope because now you get to see.
Yeah, because I even break it down. Like, they got a glossary to understand any symbol, what it means.
Yeah, I can hold you. For those who've never bought a home or had a home inspection, this is a big deal because what that report looks like is very pivotal. You see the pictures, very detailed. I took video for my home inspection.
Yeah, because I even let them know, like, you got exposed nails and you need a pressure wash.
Yeah.
So I'm letting them know when you get it, basically, you can pressure wash your home yourself. So basically, don't go to the argument table. If the steps is messed up and basically all that you need the steps rebuilt, we're gonna put that in the report and this is what we need taken care of.
Right.
So it's like I try to let my customers know, like, I'm gonna address these concerns with you, but I'm gonna let you know the concerns that you can handle yourself and you should basically talk to with the realtor and see if y'all can negotiate. Like, this one was like electrical lines going right past the window and stuff, and the drain extension.
And that stuff people don't think about.
Yeah, and that's too close. That's a shock hazard. That's what we had going on, shock hazards. I'm surprised there wasn't no fires or anything.
Yeah, yo, this is one of the better reports I've seen. Like, I ain't gonna hold y'all, but honestly, I don't want to give them too much. They got to tap in or get on the website.
Yeah, y'all can look at it.
Yeah, it's on the website. So
sample report.
Yeah, because that's dope. Because I promise you, that's not a common thing for people to have that inspection stuff.
Yeah.
So that's huge. So pitsnipeinspections.com.
Yeah.
Like I said, and you can reach out so that way you can see, his website, his stories on there. Yeah. You can check it out. Got him in his service uniform. Yeah. His certification number. Yeah, man. So tap in. Ooh. Cool. All right, brother. Let me get you out on this one. Because what I love about all this that we're talking about is it's really going to be a game changer to have Black representation. But first and foremost, always love that you were willing to come on and tell your story and just share about not just the business aspect, but one of the things that I always see in our community is we struggle with one, collaboration, and two, just being willing to be vulnerable with each other. Like when I go to affluent white neighborhoods, it's very, if you like just look at the landscape of a coffee house or a coffee shop, they're very comfortable just I did this with my investments and stocks. I
feel like we need to start talking more like that. How we're investing and growing. I feel like Black homeowners or the numbers are rising, and I feel like I wanted to be the guy that fill that void and make them more comfortable knowing okay, cool, I got a Black inspector now. I can got someone that basically I can go on there and try to get it comfortable to know hey, I'm trying to make it personal because I'm gonna be your inspector, I'm your guy. For sure. Even when you do have a roof issue, if they say you need an inspection, call me. I'll come do the inspection. It's you get free re-inspection. So during my re-inspection, any issues after you might have had roof damage from this storm, I basically said this and this and this happened. It wasn't like this during the time of inspection, your warranty or someone else is going to have to cover this.
Right. So there's an event coming up that I post on my social, the Pittsburgh Affordable Housing Roadshow. That's going to be Saturday, May 31st, 2025. I've been to one of these events.
Yes.
It's phenomenal when we start talking about home ownership. There's always a lot of Black representation. I think it's at Petra Ministries in the East Hills. So definitely I'm trying to get more people.
Trying to go.
You follow me on social, so we go.
I'm trying to go.
May 31st. I think you'll be a hit.
Yeah. I'll go.
You're going to have some politicians there. You're going to have, some of these financial institutions. It's just going to be a dope conversation. So if you're not familiar, check me out on social. But before we leave, let's make sure that, you guys know how to find James. Like I said, we've been talking about his website. We've been talking about, is there any additional social media platforms? Yeah.
So I'm on Instagram. It's Pit Snipe Property Inspect. Well, Pit Snipe _ Property Inspections. For Facebook, I don't even know my Facebook name.
I got you.
I don't even know that one because it's I'm just learning how to get everything together.
Right. I got you on your. We do live Pit Snipe and you think it come up?
There we go, right there.
Okay, so that's your page.
Yeah, here go my
Okay.
Instagram page for my business. Pit Snipe Inspection is a Black-owned, veteran-owned business, proudly serving Pittsburgh.
Right.
Like, oh, and I also give discounts to all my veterans and first responders. I give them at least a 10% discount off their inspection services. So any first responders or veterans, let me know. Like, I work with you guys. I understand.
For sure, as you should.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, the fact that, you know, shoot, all of us as business owners should be doing that. Oh, you serve or you first responder? We should, you know, to me, that should be going without saying, let's take care of these people, because let's be honest, we already know where we would be without them. So.
Yeah, so it's like, this way I show some type of appreciation. Hey, you go through the home buying process.
Love that.
You get 10% off the services. Like, I'll basically, if you do the pay at closing option, basically you will see your 10% discount from there and everything else. So it's like, yeah, you the money that you're saving ain't gonna be hit. It's gonna be shown and explained. So it's like, I appreciate the service.
Yep. Well, shoot. On that note, I'm your boy TC. As always, want to thank you guys for joining. Hopefully you learned something, man. The goal was to highlight and elevate James and Pit Snipe Inspections. 2, the goal was to just give you and speak to your mindset about the home inspection process, what it looks like, what it feels like, give you some more things to think about. Because if you're just going into the home buying process blind and you're not doing any research, you're relying on your real estate agent, you're relying on your lender, you're in a title company, you're relying on all these other relationships to do the work for you. I'm telling you, that's a terrible mindset to have. Because if you think about it, you're not the one, they're not the ones who are going to take the brunt of the responsibility if something goes sideways. So you should be working with these people. It should be a genuine relationship. So if you need a home inspector, which I know many of you do, you need to be tapping in with James. He's already got my stamp of approval. When I get my next property, this is who I'm calling. Hell, the property I'm at now, I'm calling him to just double check and check some stuff out. So with all that being said, this is Financial Literacy with TC. I'm your boy TC. We out.
Let's meet y'all.
Oh, just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC. Oh, I'm on a pod with TC. With TC.